Hello, friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm teacher Kayla, and I'm so glad that you're joining me today. Today, we are talking all about stories. I've picked out a story that I want to share with you called All the Lonely People, and I'm so excited to see what you think about it. We're going to do a little listening, reading, comprehension, vocabulary, just a little bit of everything. It's just all jam-packed into this session. So when you're ready, grab a drink, cup of coffee, some water, and join me, okay? Let's get started. Okay, so here we are on Read the Prompts. And this is a website where people can share their short stories and other people can read them and like them or comment on them. It's just kind of a fun place for people who like to read or write to share their thoughts and ideas. So I picked out this story, All the Lonely People, that you see here. This was submitted by Michelle Oliver. And I thought this story was just really relatable. So I thought that it would be a fun one to share with you guys. So I will first read the story, and then we'll go back through and I'll go over some vocabulary that I think might have been a little difficult. Okay? So for now, just relax and follow along. Okay? I tap my foot nervously on the shiny marble floor as I watch the numbers descend. I'm going to be late. Again. It really wasn't my fault. I'd had my hours swapped with George this week, so he could leave work in time to pick his kids up from school while his wife recuperated from surgery. I now needed to be in the office by 10 o'clock instead of 8:30. You'd think that would make me early. However, since I was finishing later, I tried to get to the gym in the morning. Well, that was a mistake. It was either shower and be late or skip the shower and arrive stinky and sweaty. I figured that my coworkers would prefer a late me rather than a pungent me. The brisk tap of heels alerts me to the fact that I am not the only one running late today. A side glance shows her pushing her windswept hair behind her ears as she juggles her loaded satchel bag and a briefcase with one hand while she reaches for the call button on the wall. I'd already pressed it. It was already lit, and pressing it again will not make the elevator move any faster. The numbers stop at the ground floor and the doors open. I gesture for the woman to precede me into this space, and she uses her elbow to press floor 23, one floor above my own. I press 22 and stand back. It's just the two of us, and without trying to be obvious, I check her out. Tiny, with short black hair that curls about her ears, which sport a pair of AirPods and a killer figure enhanced by shiny black heels. I'm a sucker for heels, but how the hell did women walk in them? Hi, I'm Adrian. I don't say, but I wish I could. She smiles at me, a little half smile acknowledging my presence, accompanied by a fractional nod of the head. Well, I don't know her name. Perhaps it's Jane. Or Alice. What about Elizabeth? Sarah? I think I will call her Eleanor. You know, like the Beatles song. We're all lonely people here. I'm Eleanor. So, Eleanor, how long have you worked? I run through my memory of the building's occupants. Floor 23 is a legal firm, I think. Jackson and Fuller is on the official gold name plate in the foyer. How long have you worked at Jackson and Fuller? It's my first day. Well, I haven't seen her around, so it could very well be her first day. But she has a lot of papers stuffed in the briefcase. Actually, I've worked for them for 6 years. There's no way this girl can be old enough to have worked for them for 6 years. She looks about 25. I'm doing my internship and have been here 2 months now. That's better. And you? She would ask me. She would be as interested in me as I am in her. I'm an assistant accountant at SP and Associates on the 22nd floor, I would tell her, just so she would know where to find me, should she be interested. I've worked there for the past 3 years. Do you enjoy your work? Would she really ask such an inane question? Maybe it was small talk. What else did two people trapped alone in an elevator ask one another? I wondered she's single, and I cast my eyes sideways, trying to get a look at her fingers. I can't see, but I'm going out on a limb here. She's single. I can see her head moving slightly, nodding to the beat of music that only she can hear. It's entrancing, as if she were in her own private world and I was viewing her through a window. What music are you listening to? I would ask. She's so cute that she would be listening to something cool and hip, perhaps an artist I'd never heard of, or something jazzy or classical. Miles Davis, she'd say. Of course, I'm a big Miles Davis fan, and I ask, which album? Kind of Blue? Yeah, she would be listening to my favorite album. The ding of the elevator, ding, hitting my floor, halts the conversation we're not having, and I smile at her as I exit. Tuesday. Although I'm technically early to work the following day, having skipped my morning workout, I linger in the foyer hoping to see my Eleanor again. Finally, I realize that I'm being an idiot. There's no reason that she'll be here today, just because she was here yesterday. As I pressed the button to call the elevator, I hear the tip-tap of heels on the marble floor, and I turn my head. There she is again. Her black curls secured this time, but her satchel and briefcase still bulging. Hi again, I would say, but I'm still struck mute. Hi yourself. Her voice would be husky, or maybe not. It might be breathy or high-pitched. I don't know. But for me, it's a warm, throaty sound, reminiscent of Scarlett Johansson. Did you get to work on time yesterday? I would ask. But how the hell would I know if she was late or early? Yes, thanks. I might be a bit late today, though. Slept in. She doesn't look like she slept in. She looks clean and fresh and incredibly relaxed for a Tuesday morning. I find it easier to be on time if I start work at 8 o'clock. Starting later just sees me wasting time in the morning, and all of a sudden, I'm late again, I would say, and she would nod in understanding. Yes, it's hard to get going when you have extra time to kill in the morning. I would prefer to start early and finish early too, she would agree with me. We are both morning people in my mind. Perhaps we could meet up for a coffee before work. That wouldn't be creepy. 2 adults who work in the same building meeting for coffee? It's nothing too alarming. I almost opened my mouth to ask her and then realized 2 things simultaneously. I've never actually spoken to her, and this is my floor. Wednesday. Again, I wait until the last possible moment to press the button, hesitating with my hand hovering in midair, but the click of heels on the marble floor never comes. So, I reluctantly press it and wait until the elevator arrives. I delay entering until the last possible moment before I take my solitary place within the lift. Just as the doors begin to close, I hear the now familiar staccato tap, faster and more urgent this time. As if she was running, I shove my hand between the closing doors, causing them to bounce open again. And there she is, breathless and grateful. She smiles at me, and I smile back. Our first real interaction, first eye contact, first word. Thanks, she murmurs so quietly that I barely catch the sound as it tumbles from her lips. I just smile and nod back, my words caught behind my lips, unable to force their way free. You're welcome. Running late again? I would ask if I could. I just "Can't seem to get the timing right in the morning," she would reply, her eyes twinkling ruefully. Perhaps she is not the morning person I had believed her to be. Maybe it would be better to catch up after work for a drink and maybe some live music. I know a place around the corner from here that has live jazz every night of the week. The Duke is a classic jazz bar, one of my favorite places to listen to music and unwind. We could get a table and share a bottle of wine with the meal. I get my phone out to check the website to see who is playing there this week, and the elevator stops at my floor. I step out, still focused on the website, and didn't notice as the doors closed behind me. Thursday. This time I'm the one who's late. I had a cat emergency. Whiskers had left me a gift. A partially digested, totally unrecognizable gift that I discovered just as I was about to leave home. Therefore, I missed the first bus and had to wait 20 minutes for the next one. I ran from the bus station all the way to work. Luckily, I'm fit and in the habit of working out. The foyer is empty as I race through the glass sliding doors, and my heart sinks with disappointment. She isn't there. I've missed her this morning, thanks to my bloody cat. The last elevator is just closing as I arrive in a breathless rush, and I run to try to catch it before it shuts. A small hand reaches out to catch the door, and it bounces open. There she is, my Eleanor. She smiles and steps back into her corner as I enter. A sound emerges from my mouth. It's meant to be words of thanks, but I don't think she hears them. I'm not even sure I spoke the English language. Perhaps it was Neanderthal. I believe that's a language I'm fluent in, especially if you ask my mother. My turn to be late today, I would tell her. My cat. He's a little bit feral still, even after 15 years of the good life. He left a partially digested mouse in my foyer, and I had to deal with it just as I was ready to leave. Would that be too much information? Would she be squeamish? No. She's a cat lover too. She would laugh and tell me a story about her cat. Kitty is so fat she wouldn't be able to catch mice, poor love. She eats only the best gourmet cat food, poached in spring water. Do you only have the one cat? I would ask. One is definitely enough, wouldn't you agree? She would speak with a smile, one that shows how much she loves her cat. I adore Kitty, but I'm not quite ready to be a crazy cat lady yet. Do you only have the one cat? Yes. Mr. Whiskers was a feral kitten I found out at the back of my parents' place about 15 years ago. He lives a great life with me and has me wrapped around his paw. Cats are like that. You need to be very careful because they will steal your heart in an instant, and an instant is all it took. But I was already in love with my Eleanor. However, the lift stops at my floor and I step out. Friday. This is my last day on the late shift. George's wife has recovered from her surgery, and I will be going back to my usual shift on Monday. I'm so early this morning that I pace restlessly about the foyer of our building, sipping on the cappuccino grande I picked up on the way to work. I'm going to speak with Eleanor the moment I see her, I tell myself sternly. I'm going to ask her to the jazz club or coffee or lunch or just to exchange email addresses. Something. I paced the foyer some more, watching the minute hand on my watch creep closer and closer to 12. I have to face it. Eleanor is not coming. Maybe she doesn't work Friday. She could be only a part-time employee. Maybe she's still studying while completing her internship and she is on campus every Friday. I admit defeat and enter the elevator. It closes grimly. No cry of, "Hold the lift," is forthcoming, and I ride it silently all the way to the 22nd floor. It's the quietest lift I've taken all week. This afternoon, I have a heap of paperwork to finish up and sort out before I hand the files back to George on Monday, and so I am the last person in the office. Everyone else has clocked out, and Dave, Maria, and some others have headed off to the creek for drinks. I wasn't interested in loud, raucous fun. The Mike Freely Quartet was playing at the Duke. I didn't feel like sitting there all alone. So I locked the office and walked toward the lifts. No spring in my step, just Friday exhaustion slowing me down. I pressed the call button and waited, studying the tips of my scuffed shoes without actually seeing them, like an automaton. I shuffle into the elevator as the doors slide open. "Hey." The voice is soft. "Tough week?" I snap my head up and see the only other occupant sharing my lift. It's Eleanor. And all of a sudden, there's sunshine on a rainy day. I nod, unable to speak. She smiles and sighs. "Me too." This is the longest conversation we have ever had out loud. It's then that I notice that she is carrying a box, an A4 reflex copy paper box, and it's full to the brim of personal effects. The item at the top catches my eye with its glinting gold plastic. A nameplate. Tamara Blink. My mouth opens, then closes, and I swallow. "Tamara? It's my last day," she says. The doors open on the ground floor, and with a small, sad smile, she steps out before me. I hear her clipping heels tap across the marble floor toward the sliding glass exit, but I don't move, and the elevator doors slowly shut in my face. I can see my reflection staring back at me in their shining metal surface. Ah, look at all the lonely people. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed reading that. And let me take just a moment here to say, if you are enjoying this content so far, then please take just a moment to hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Please share with me things that you would like to see, or just leave a comment to say hello. All right. Thank you so much for your support. It helps me so much. Okay, back to it. Okay. So I thought that I would pick out a few of the words and we could talk about those. Again, you can leave me some comments or let me know if there is a word here that you don't understand that you would like me to explain more. But I picked out some of the ones that I thought were maybe a little difficult. The first one that I chose was recuperate. You can see it used here. So recuperate means to recover or get better. If I recuperate from surgery, I recover or get better from surgery. And that's what happened here. Is it said I'd had my hours swapped or changed with George this week so he could leave work in time to pick his kids up from school while his wife recuperated from surgery, or while she was getting better from surgery. I changed my hours with George so he could leave work to pick up his kids while his wife got better from surgery. Number 2, pungent. It says, I figure that my co-workers, or people that I work with, would prefer a late me than a pungent me. Pungent means a strong smell or taste, right? So the smell of onions being cut was so pungent that it made me cry. All right, number 3, proceed. Proceed means to come before something in time or to go in front of or ahead of. For example, he let her precede him into the office. You can also look at this sentence, right? So it says, I gesture or motion for the woman to proceed, go before me into the space. So I gesture for her to go before me into the space, right? So the next word I chose was enhanced. So enhance, if you look over here, means to make better or improve. Improves the quality, it just improve it. So for example, the belt enhanced her outfit so much. And in this sentence, it says, it's talking about how she looks. He mentions that he checks her out, which means to kind of look at her, see what she looks like, see how she looks. And then he describes her tiny, small, with short black hair that curls about her ears, which sport a pair of AirPods, and a killer figure, or a very nice figure, enhanced or made even better by shiny black heels. He even goes on to say, I'm a sucker for heels, meaning that he's very attracted to women with heels. So it's a weakness for him. The next word we have is inane. Inane is pointless or without significance, empty, right? So, for example, the plot of the movie was inane, completely lacking intrigue. So it was not intriguing, it was empty. So let's read here where they use this word. It says, do you enjoy your work? But she really asks such an inane question, such a boring, empty, not very deep question. Maybe it was small talk. Yes, we love small talk, right? But in this story, this man is not thinking that him and that woman have such a shallow relationship. He thinks that they are more than that they are almost soulmates, or that they have a special connection. And asking such an inane or a question that you might ask for small talk would not be something that she would do, because they were in a deeper relationship than that. But we Americans do love our small talk, and I do have some videos about that too. But small talk is fun, but not in this situation, because again, they're in a deep relationship. All right, our next word is entrancing. Entrancing is attractive or charming. So, for example, she has an entrancing smile. And in the story, so if we look at this paragraph, I think we need the whole paragraph to see the significance of this word. So it says, I can see her head moving slightly, nodding to the beat of music that only she can hear. It's entrancing. So he is entranced. He finds it very attractive, and he's intrigued by her nodding to the music, and how that it's kind of like their secret. It's really kind of her secret, but he thinks he's in with her secrets. He's watching what she's doing, and he is entranced or intrigued by what she's doing. So the next word, bulging, actually showed up a couple of times in this story. And bulging means to be full or swollen. So, for example, her closets were bulging with clothes. I think a lot of us can relate to that, right? I think maybe my closet is bulging as well. But anyway, in the story, it says her black curls secured this time, but her satchel and briefcase still bulging. We don't really say satchel a lot in America. This is a British story, but maybe her bag or her purse and her briefcase were still bulging. All of her things, she had so many things, were bulging or swollen, very full. Our next word is husky. Husky refers to her voice. It's a low and deep voice. It's rough or hoarse. Right now, it's actually kind of late where I am in America when I'm filming this. So my voice sometimes comes out a little hoarse or rough. So I think I have that husky voice right now. But that is what he believed her voice would sound like. Maybe a little husky. But he also said, maybe not. I don't know. That's what he imagines. Our next word is simultaneously. Simultaneously, I tried to show you when I was talking about it, but simultaneously is at the same time. So two things that happen at the same time. So for example, we both shouted, hooray, simultaneously. Hooray for teacher Kayla's new video, right? Simultaneously at the same time. In this paragraph here, he's saying, oh, maybe we could meet up for coffee. And he almost opened his mouth to ask her to coffee. And then he realized two things almost simultaneously or at the same time. He realized, one, he's never actually spoken to Eleanor, and two, that this is his floor and he has to get off of the elevator, which are, both maybe a little difficult for him. Our next word is feral. Feral just means wild. So, for example, they were raised like feral animals without any manners. And in the story, he is talking about his cat, and that's why he's late. He said he's a little bit feral still, and it just means he's a little wild. Maybe he got this cat, and the cat was wild when he got him, and he still is wild. But he says that he's had him for 15 years, and he's still a wild cat, which happens depending on the cat, right? I know some feral cats, actually some that are domesticated, which is the home cat or the cat that you keep at home, but sometimes they can act a little feral. So this brings us to our last word, which is grimly. Grimly means like serious or depressing, very sad. For example, he sighs and puts his head down grimly when he realizes she isn't coming. And in the text, we say, we're talking about the elevator, and when he realizes that she's not coming, the elevator doors close grimly, very sad like, and no one is crying, hold the lid, please. No one's bouncing open the doors. And it's just a sad moment. So that brings us to the end of All the Lonely People, the short story that I picked out for you. I hope you enjoyed that today. First off, I would love to hear some of your thoughts about this story. Please leave those down in the comments, or if you have any other questions or anything about this story, I would love to hear from you, and I would love to be able to help if I can. But back to the story, I want to know what you think about this story. What do you think about the main character? Why do you think this main character never spoke to the woman? What do you think about how things ended, it being her last day, and he dreamed up this whole world of them having this relationship or this friendship together, and it never happened. They said maybe a couple of sentences to each other before it was over, but it was hard to read the story and hear the point of view of the main character and have him not say anything. It was so difficult to hold back. I wanted to be like, tap her on the shoulder, say hello, or anything. Maybe not be that creepy and tap on her shoulder, but maybe say something to get her attention so you can at least say that you tried. So what do you think about that? Do you think that he should have said anything to her? Or do you think that it was best that he kept it all in his head? Have you ever had a situation like this where you felt like that you should have said something to someone? I would love to hear more of your stories and your thoughts on this story. And any other comments that you have, please leave them down below. This is my first storybook lesson, and I have been so glad to share this with you because I've been wanting to do this for so long. So this was a lot of fun for me. If you also enjoyed it, let me know. And of course, as always, please like, subscribe, and leave comments if you did enjoy this content. It does help me when you do that, so I can keep putting out content like this for you. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.